So I received this from Sigma Brushes. It's a brush kit. It's called the Make Me Up Brush Kit. This is the package that I received. These are the brushes that it comes with. This is what the package looks like. I'm going to open it up in a second. It comes with 12 basic brushes that you need. This is what the set looks like. And there you go, up close. It says Sigma Makeup. So it unsnaps open. And it separates into two pieces. And what I like about this is you can use this for two reasons. This is what the package looks like. You can use this when you're doing makeup jobs. You can take this and use it as your brush holder. Like you can separate between all the brushes that are dirty and the brushes that are clean. Or just easier for you, instead of having a brush belt, it's probably easier to hold this way. And also for when you're traveling, your brushes are protected and you keep them nice and neat in here. And you always have something to hold your brushes for you when you're traveling. Whether you're a makeup artist or you're just using this for yourself, either way it works perfectly. So we're going to open up the brushes and talk a little bit more about the brushes that come in here and the quality of these brushes. So basically in this set, like I said, you get the basic brushes. You have 5 face brushes and 7 eye brushes. So I'm going to go through these brushes and I'm going to compare them for you guys with the MAC brushes. Let's start with the face brushes. So these are your face brushes. And start with this big one here. This one is the large powder brush. It's the F30. So this is the bristles of the F30. Just by feeling it here, I feel the texture is not exactly the same like the MAC brushes for those of you who already have MAC brushes. It's a little bit, let's see. Feels actually, from the front, it feels a little bit softer, but the MAC brush is a little bit more fuller. I feel it's more spread out. It's a little bigger than this one. So this one's comparable to the MAC 150. I noticed with this there was just a slight scent, like a slight smell to it. So maybe once you wash it, the smell will go away. So that's that one. So now the next brush is a dual fiber brush. This one is the F50 dual fiber. And this is comparable to the 187 from MAC, as you see here. Also, this one is very soft, but then again, this one also has that slight smell to it. I'm not sure. Like I said, maybe once you wash it, the smell will go away. Next brush. This one is the F40. And this one is a dupe for the 168 MAC brush. I would say this one very similar to the MAC brush. The MAC 168 is a little bit softer though. And as for uses of these brushes, sorry I didn't mention that from the beginning. I mean, obviously this one is the large powder brush, so you're going to be using that for your powders. And this one here is a dual fiber. This one you can use for foundation, you can use for blush, you can use for powders, you can use for pretty much anything that's going to go on the face. And for this one here, you can use this for blush. But you'll get your blush will be a little bit more dense with this one because of the bristles are more dense. You'll get a little bit more blush on. But basically, it's perfect for contouring because of the angled shape. Next one is a foundation brush. This one's comparable to the MAC 190. It's cute that they have this little protecting on it. If you get these brushes, I would say save these. You can throw away that plastic piece, but this is great for after you wash them and they've dried and you want them to keep their shape. It's nice to keep them that way. And it also helps to keep them nice and clean. So that's the foundation brush. This one didn't have a smell to it. It actually was okay. It's very soft. And the last brush from the face brushes would be the concealer brush. Let's remove this. And this one here is the F70. So this is comparable to the MAC 195 concealer brush. And this is what that's like. Now for the eyes. Let's start with this one. This is comparable to the MAC 224. This one's the E40. It's a tapered blending brush. So this is the one I use for my concealer mainly. It's a blending brush. This blends your eyeshadows beautifully. That's that one. Next brush. This one's a very important brush. Your pencil brush. This is comparable. This is the E30, and compare this to the 119 from MAC. Let's see. I would say this one's a bit more pointier than the MAC one. The MAC one is not as pointy at the tip there, but it still will do the trick. This is a very important brush. I mean, I don't know what I would do without a pencil brush. So the E30 compared to the 119. Alright, so the next brush here we have is the E70, and this one's comparable to the MAC 275, and it's the angled, medium angled shading brush. This is what that looks like. And it does compare to it, only I feel the MAC one is slightly more angled maybe, but it's very, very similar. And this one's maybe a little bit longer than the MAC one, but it's very similar to that. And this one's great for applying your shadows in your crease, and for the people who want to get the perfect angle in the outer corner when you're trying to get that V shape kind of before blending. This should make it very easy for you to create that shape. And it's great for the crease. If you put it sideways, you'll get a more defined crease like this. Obviously not this way, you wouldn't be using it like this, you'd be using it like that. On to the next brush. This one is the E60, and the E60 is comparable to the 252 MAC brush. Now this one they compared it to the 252, but I have to say this is very much softer than the 252. I like to use this for highlighting the brow bone. If you need to apply eyeshadow in a bigger area, like if you have bigger lids and you want to put more eyeshadow, if you want to go higher on the lid, this is nice to pack on the shadow a little higher. Next brush is the E65. This is compared to the MAC 266 angled brush. Now this brush is a multi-use. Some people like to apply their eyeliner with this brush. Some people like to fill in their brows with this brush. I like to use my angle brushes for my brows, that's about it. But a lot of people like to create their wing liner by using the angle brush. Now for the eyeliner brush, this compares to the MAC 209. This is the E05 eyeliner brush. It's like the 209. This is also nice to apply eyeshadow on your lower lash line. This is a perfect tool to use for that. Or if you're applying color on your liner, so sometimes I would put an eyeliner on, then I would like to dab on some color. So I'd use this brush. So this one is compared to the 209, E05. And the last brush from the eye brushes here is the E55. And the E55 is the eye shading brush, and it's compared to the 239. So if I compare this to the 239, I would say it does the same job as the 239, but I wouldn't compare it to a 239, only because the 239 is smaller, flatter. It's very different than it, but it does the job. It does exactly what you need it to do. It does it same way the 239 does it.